introduction to yourself.
Yeah, man. I'm from a group called the South Central Cartel. We've been doing our thing, man, since 90. Well, we was doing it before then, but our first album was like 1991. You know what I mean? And we've been doing it since then. A lot of people kind of lost touch with us once we was on Def Jam from 93 to 97 or 98, one of them. And when we got off Def Jam, a lot of people kind of lost touch. We kind of went our separate ways, and but through the 90s, if you was around here in the 90s, you knew us. You
Oh
knew
yeah,
us. You feel me?
yeah,
So,
man.
but we've been around since then, from then to now, pretty much.
Exactly. You was on the label the same time as Warren G, right?
Yeah, we was there. I think we signed a little before Warren G did.
Oh wow.
We might have been the first. I know
Nice.
that's a good argument people like to have. Who was the first West Coast artist signed? But I'm pretty sure, man, we was probably the first.
Man, given that Def Jam's an East Coast label, I feel like the West Coast at that time saved them, y'all, Warren G, because it was going down a little bit. But
Yep. Jail Felony was over there.
oh wow,
Yeah, it was Jail Felony over there too. And we had Boss from Detroit. Boss was over there too at that time.
man, how did y'all get plugged in with Def Jam? Did they just have like a lot of connections, really looking for West Coast talent, or did y'all kind of go
Nah,
to
man.
them?
That's a story for you. I mean, but that plugs into the whole Mob Deep shit situation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Um, we met Russell in Atlanta at Jack the Rapper. We were signed to a label called Quality Records, Quality Thump, whatever records, and we had did our first album already, and the first album did real good, did real well. But the record, the label with the money, so it was Quality Records, then Thump Records, but it was another company called K-Tel or something that had the money, that owned, you know what I
Okay.
mean? Both
Yeah,
of them.
yeah.
So they was having some issues, money, cash flow issues. We had just put out an album that pretty much, that album sold well over 500,000 units. And they came back to us to we were getting ready for the next album, and they were telling us they didn't have the money, to give us they wanted to give us a real small budget. So we wasn't happy with that. So the
Yeah.
guy, the guy that ran Quality, his name was Russ Regan. Rest in peace to Russ Regan. Big, big, big dog in the game, right? Russ Regan told us, well, look, South Central Cartel, we'll let y'all go and get a new deal, but Havoc and Prodigy have to stay. Me and Havoc was doing an album, Havoc and Prodigy too. So Havoc and Prodigy had to stay on Quality. They allowed us to go out and shop for a new deal. We went to Atlanta to Jack the Rapper, and while there, we met Russell. Russell was in the lobby. And Havoc, the mouthpiece, he was a good talker, man. So I would always say, Havoc, go do your job. You know, go do your job. Go talk
Yeah.
to Russell. You feel me? Havoc went over there and started talking to Russell and telling Russell about the group. But it just so happened that the record label had promoted our album in the Jack the Rapper pamphlet. So we was in the pamphlet anyway. So a lot of record label execs was seeing us.
Oh wow.
So when Havoc went and talked to Russell, Russell was like, well, I don't know about y'all. And I think Russell called his label and was like, pull sound scans on South Central Cartel. At that time, it wasn't no how it is now with Spotify. It was real solid, real physical. If it's,
Oh yeah.
so anyway, he
We
pulled the
remember.
scans. Yeah,
Yeah,
he
we
pulled it,
remember.
and them numbers was looking good. He was like, "Why the hell I don't know about y'all?" Because it was mostly West Coast. We was blowing up on the West Coast, and that was that. That kind of pretty much solidified us getting signed. It was a couple of he wanted wanted us to go do obviously some new songs to see what it was gonna be. But that's what solidified it when we met Russell and Jack the Rapper.
Man, you mentioned a great point about, back then it wasn't like how it is now. You can't just like pop on, turn on a web camera and build your audience online. You have to build it from the ground up. So like,
Yeah.
how we
Chitlin
all
Circuit.
exactly how we all able to go from at one point like not really being known to just building that big following without the machine behind you prior to the signing.
Chitlin Circuit. You
Okay.
know, the guy, like I was saying to you earlier before we went live, the reason we know Spice is because the guy who promoted us was promoting Spice. So it was a guy that worked for Quality Records named Aubrey Taylor. And he was crazy when it comes to promoting records. He would literally take us on the Chitlin circuit. And for anybody that don't know what the Chitlin circuit is, we would drive from California to Philadelphia or New York, and every little backwoods bar that we would pass, he would have us performing in these bars, even if it wasn't no stage.
Oh, man.
And we the first time we did it, we hated that shit. You feel
Yeah,
me? We was hating it. Like, man, why we gotta perform in this little smoke-filled little hole in the wall? But
exactly.
I swear to
Yeah,
God, man, we went
yeah,
from LA to Philly. Nobody knew us. We was new, couple of radio stations was playing the record here and there. On our way back, they was knowing. They was starting to know us. We went, came back. We came back home for like a month, and we went back out. And when we went back out, it was night and day. We was blowing up in all these little, backwoods little cities, man. That's
yeah.
how we did. I watched that happen.
Yeah, putting in that work.
Man, the stuff that they don't do no more.
Yeah.
But I watched that happen. We literally went from being nobodies to being one of the groups that people was fooling with back
Right.
then. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it started. Obviously, it just got bigger and bigger. And by the time we met Russell, we was hitting our stride.
So was it sort of like overnight success for you guys, or what did that really look like?
It feel like overnight, but it wasn't overnight. Because like I say, we had to go the whole route, like a 30-day thing, and just performing for people didn't know who the hell we was. Like, who was
Yeah.
these guys? You know what I mean? But slowly but surely, this guy was good at his job. He was one of the best. He knew how to blow up a group. You know what I'm saying? The same time we're doing it, we're with him, he's blowing up Spice One's first single, which was the one I'm talking about, the liquor, all of the liquor, gin and juice or all whatever. I think what 187 proof, I think it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah. That's
Yeah. He was blowing that record up at the same time he was blowing up our first single, which was Gangsta Love at the time. And our second single was You Gets Clown. So Gangsta Love was the record that was getting radio play. But then You Gets Clown ended up being a bigger hit, which was the flip side, because it was more of a club song. So they started with Gangsta Love, which was getting the radio play. But then You Gets Clown just took off. And we didn't expect that, but that song ended up being the song that really broke us. You Gets Clown.
Nice.
that's what I hear a lot of times from like musicians. The song that you don't really think that blows you up. Everybody loves that one, but the one you put all the love into, it don't do quite
The
as
one that they thought. That's what they thought was gonna be the one. You know what I mean?
right.
We
Right.
didn't choose that. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Gangsta Love was doing its thing, but it was a love song. It was a slower type of joint. It did what it did, though. I'm not mad at it.
So
They
man,
both did their thing, both of them songs.
you kind of spoke about going to these like little clubs. I know, like just me remembering the '90s, those the little clubs were especially dangerous, and especially gang banging was kind of blowing up across the nation. So, how was it, performing at these clubs? Did y'all have to constantly kind of like watch your back?
Yeah, and it's crazy because when you look at South Central Cartel, and you look at the album cover up until All Day Every Day, it's like six people on the cover. But when we're on these little promo tours, it's only me and Havoc. Me and the not
Okay.
Havoc, but Havoc. You know, we
Yeah,
got two Havocs in the group for people that don't know.
yeah, yeah,
HAVIKK, which is the other rapper. And then you got Havoc, HAVOC, which is the guy that talk on the intros,
yeah,
etc., etc. Me and Havoc would be only us two on these promo tours. And we were, yeah, oh yeah, man. You know, and especially coming from LA at that time, because LA was like the gang capital of the
yeah,
world at the time, at that particular time. So
Right.
people would test us, they want to try you. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
we had some situations for sure.
I mean, we even heard, you hear about DJ Quick talking about some of his situations in other cities.
Well, a lot of DJ Quick talk. We would hear it all the time. We would go to a certain city and they would be like, hey, DJ Quick was here and he had a fight over there at that club, or, but we got people tried us and we stood our ground.
Yeah,
You have to
Yeah.
do what you have to do. You feel me?
yeah.
So yeah,
100%. Yeah.
we had some situations for sure.
The '90s were a little bit kind of a different time, though. It's a little more, a little more active in general.
Way more active, not a little more. It was completely active.
Yeah, yeah,
Like that was the time when that was what it was. That was
yeah.
the time. Now it's a little different. I mean, there's a little bit more togetherness now than it was in our time. It was separated.
Oh, yeah,
Crips
Okay.
over here, Bloods over there, and if we was in the same club, it was some friction.
yeah,
Nowadays, you could be Crips over here, Bloods over there, or they together. And that's cool. That's dope. I like that. I like it better when we could be together.
yeah, yeah. Same here. But just going back to the '90s, there wasn't no cameras and there
Nope.
wasn't like a bunch of
Nope.
phones for people to be like
No.
looking down at. So people were forced to interact with each other.
Yep.
So
All you had was the word of mouth and your mouth and their ears. You feel me? And
yeah,
but when
Exactly.
something went down or somebody gets slapped or beat up, you didn't see it. You couldn't, nowadays something happened to you, everybody gonna see it.
I mean, it
yes,
brings me back to like I used to tour in rock bands, and like on the first tour, we're sleeping in the van. We're getting bit by mosquitoes in Florida, like not glamorous. But
Oh yeah, hell
once
no,
the
it was.
record got some notice, we went out on a full US tour. And then all of a sudden, oh, you guys want to stay with us? Oh no, yeah, crash with us. It's like all of a sudden, it's like now you want us because we're on the map a little bit. But before
Mhm.
that, it's like no, like you're sleeping in your van. So what was that like for you guys, that first tour?
You sleeping in the van, but not a good van, or maybe sleeping in a car. You know what I mean? Because like I said, it was only us two. Now, mind you, like what you just saying, once the group got known and now we getting these paid tours and people paying us, then of course it's a little bit more comfortable. But then, like you said, everybody want to come too. Now
Yeah.
everybody that ain't got nothing to
All
do
of a
with
sudden,
nothing want to come.
yeah, you get a little bit of street cred, and then people are like, "Oh yeah, I was into you guys back when you put out blah blah blah." It's like, no, you weren't. You weren't at our shows. Like you're here now because people are talking about us. So I'm sure you experienced that.
Oh yeah, for sure. Definitely. It's always gonna be a crowd when the money flowing, of course.
man. At what point did you kind of see the switch flip? Like, okay, we was kind of going from being unknowns, and now all of a sudden everybody loves us.
Well, I mean, obviously, man, when we got the Def Jam deal, because the name Def Jam in the 90s was big. Just the name itself, to say you on Def Jam was that automatically magnified. Whatever we had going, it magnified once the Def Jam deal happened. And I'm not gonna even sit here and say Def Jam promoted the shit out of us. You feel me? Because to me, they didn't. They didn't. But we blew up more because of the name being behind the group. We was a straight or we was really, really, really a street group. You feel me? Like we got a little bit of radio play with the first album, but when we got signed to Def Jam, I can't tell you one single that Def Jam really pushed to radio, but the album still went gold,
Wow.
just on the street level. We
So
didn't get no
just the
radio play.
just that word of mouth got you
Just the
guys
word of
around.
mouth, man. We were so strong in the streets that it pushed the album.
Yeah.
I remember Russell Simmons calling me the first week the record dropped. And he was like, how the hell y'all outselling Public Enemy and EPMD? Of course, EPMD and Public Enemy was monster groups, way bigger than us. But for
Right.
that particular week, we was the shit. You feel me? That week, it was us.
Yeah,
Out
that,
of Russell Simmons' mouth.
Nice.
you know, like the period that y'all were really big in, the West Coast was really, really on. Like the West Coast had a legendary run. So many legends all together at that period. Ice Cube, Ice-T, Spice One, Tupac, you know, just
it was crazy, man, when you think about it. And okay, you think about the top tier, right? Which is Snoop, Dre, Cube, Snoop, Dre, Cube, Tupac. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then there's another tier that fall right under that one. You got MCA, E40, Too Short, maybe DJ Quick, maybe Spice One up in there. You know, it's like we're falling under Spice. You feel me? We're falling under Spice. You got Above the Law. You got, man, we can go on and on and on and on. But it's like, you listen to all of them names I just named, and don't none of Ice-T for sure. You named Ice-T. Don't none of us sound the same.
Exactly.
Right.
You feel me? And that's the problem with today's music, because everybody, I don't know who is who.
But you know, the problem, from my point of view, like as a drummer and just as someone who used to record his own bands, like everything is chopped up. Everything is quantized, beat corrected. So every single group, every rock group sounds the same. Every metal band sounds the same. Every hip hop artist, they got the same plugins, FL Studio, whatever they're using. Like everyone is using the same stuff. And so, like you said, how do you even differentiate one artist from another when the music, it all sounds the same?
But you know what I say, and that's to me. So the point I'm making. So when I go down this tier, right? So in the 90s, we was mid-tier, right? I'm gonna say we was mid-tier in the 90s. So when you look at today, mid-tier would be Lil Baby. I don't even know them. I can't even name them. It's, you know, I can't name them. I'm not even finna try to. But they all sound the same is what I'm finna say. What you saying, it all sounds the same, and you don't know where it came from. Okay? Because rappers from LA sound like rappers from Atlanta. And rappers from New York sound like they from Atlanta. You know, it all sounds the same to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not disrespecting it. I'm not trying to down it or talk down about it. I'm saying, as far as with my ears, when I listen to it, it all sounds the same. Now, obviously, when you go to the top tier of that, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, they got their own sound, which is kind of more similar to the classic 90s when it sounded its own way, you know, type of vibe. But when you get down to that middle, where the rappers that, you know, the bread and butter, because everybody not on the level of a Kendrick. Kendrick is special.
Right.
You know, when you get down there to that middle section, it all sound the same, and I don't understand it. And I don't know why these guys don't go and get their own sound and try to create us something special.
Yeah, I think you know, like back in the day, it was all about originality and the region. You know, people in each region, they couldn't just immediately hear what somebody from another region sounded like,
which was good.
Well, like Outkast, you know, you remember Outkast?
They really, was a perfect example of that.
They really had their own sound back then.
Exactly. Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, Wu-Tang sounds nothing like Outkast.
Exactly.
You know, it's like everybody kind of was doing what they was doing. It wasn't no biting going on. You know what I mean? It wasn't. I mean, because to us, biting was a sin. You couldn't
Yeah,
bite. You couldn't bite. You know, that's why. You know, that's why that whole Mob Deep South Central Cartel thing
yeah,
bothers me because we didn't bite.
exactly,
We
Yeah.
didn't bite the names. We didn't bite them. I was Prodigy before I even started the South Central Cartel.
exactly.
So it's like that. I don't care about it no more. But at the, you know, when people be online and they be taking them little shots, you hear them. I see them. I read the post, and I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all talking about.
Hey, y'all don't sound nothing alike, and but that's just the internet. The people always like got these little comments, so you just
Hmm.
pretty much learn as many.
Hell of a coincidence, though, right? Hell of a coincidence, though. You know, but I mean, obviously, even when people try to do that, you know, Prodigy, Prodeje, you know, however you want to pronounce it, it's not even the same.
Right,
My name is Prodeje. And rest in peace, my D Prodigy is Prodigy. It wasn't even the same. So what are we talking about?
exactly.
I'm trying to be different, even with the pronunciation, the spelling, pronounced normally, but spelled the alternate spelling in the dictionary. You know
Right.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to have that problem of maybe somebody else out there. I didn't know it, but at the time I'm thinking I was thinking of the video game company, the company Prodigy that do the tech. I didn't
Mm,
want to have to deal with their problem. So I changed my spelling a little bit. You know,
That's
then
smart.
obviously later on we heard about the Prodigy, the rock band, you know, all of
Oh
that.
yeah.
The punk, whatever that was, they was, you know, that music they was doing.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
came and blew up, but it wasn't nothing. It was just in this rap world, it's so messy. You know, it's so messy. People want to hear the mess, but it was no mess. It was never, even when we met them in Atlanta, it wasn't no mess. It could have been, but it would have been looking bad on us because we was older than Mob Deep. They were some young men, and we was young adults.
Okay.
exactly.
You know, they was like probably 15, 16, 17. We was probably 20, 21. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So it still would have made us look bad over here fighting these little boys
yeah.
over a name that neither one of us really they stand on what they stand on. We stood on what we stood on, and that was that. We never had no physical confrontations with them kids.
Do you feel like like the rap magazines and things like that nature back then, they kind of served a little bit of the same purpose bloggers do now.
Yeah.
Like they kind of stir into the beef and create somewhere there's nothing really there.
Well, that and also, and this is just me, you know, it was a lot to me, a lot of like blocks for us. You feel me? Like Mob Deep was on Loud, getting massive promotion, and one of the dopest groups ever. No disrespect. You know what I'm saying? Prodigy, one of the dopest rappers ever. You know, but and I don't have no problem saying that. I mean, I stand on what I do too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
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 yeah.
But I'm standing on what I do too. I know what I'm doing too. I'm good at what I do as well. But he got a lot more. They got a lot more notoriety, or we didn't get that. I
Like
mean, it ain't like
more
that.
the mainstream.
Yeah, they
More the
got pushed out
mainstream.
there. We never got pushed out there. Def Jam didn't push us out there like that. And we could sit here and say why Def Jam didn't do that. But who cares? Fucking
yeah.
25 years later.
Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not stuck on that no more. And then I can't really get into nothing about it because, you know, Prodigy not here. We can't stand here and debate each other,
Right.
you know? So for whatever reason, it went the way it went. You know, and that's what it was. But as far as stealing names, nah, nobody stole no name. Nobody, you
Nah,
know what I mean? I didn't steal no. I was proud. I got records as just me
right.
before SCC. You know, before SCC. So it's like, dude, and I had other names before Prodigy came along. But I got a single that I did as just Prodigy with no SCC, just me. So can't nobody tell me shit.
And to me, like, who even cares about the name? The sounds ain't nowhere near the same.
No
Y'all
way.
have
It's
your
two
own.
different groups, two
Yeah,
completely different groups. And when we ran into him in Atlanta and whatever, nothing happened. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Premier and Guru interceded to where they made sure nothing happened. But I don't know. I don't know if it would have happened. I can't tell you. You know what I mean? They was kids. We would have
right.
been wrong if something would have happened. We would have been wrong. Even though they approached us, they kind of approached us. Them little dudes had heart.
Yeah.
Hey, them little dudes had some heart. You feel me? They definitely approached us.
What was that? Was that the Jack the
Jack
Rapper
the
with
Rapper, yeah, the
F Row
same
and
Jack
Luke?
the
And,
Rapper, the
yeah,
same day we met Russell, same day we met them.
I mean, both of y'all did y'all thing incredibly well, and just two completely different sounds, like the West
Exactly, and
Coast.
that's what people
Yeah,
need to understand. You feel me? Yeah, we did our thing, they did their thing, and hey,
And that was respected back then. That was respected.
yes,
Nowadays, it's like, okay, person A sounds the same as group Z. It's like, no matter where I look, everything sounds the same. So
uh-huh.
how am I supposed to give respect to people when there's nothing original about what you're doing?
Well, it's
I think
very hard for
that's the
us.
problem.
It's hard to not get in them chat lines, them
yeah.
chat boxes with these people talking all this ish. Give me a sec, guys. I'm finna try to turn the light on so y'all can see me a little better.
Okay.
'Cause it's getting dark over here.
Well, yeah, Brian, it's pretty crazy, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that people aren't hanging out in real life; they're hanging out on the internet. So you start sounding like who you hang out around all the time.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's probably a lot of factors, but it just kind of jumps out at me. If I turn the radio on nowadays, I hear a new artist come on. I'm like, okay, is this Sabrina Carpenter? Like, it sounds just like her. Or, I know Miley Cyrus isn't really doing that much now, but you got a lot of copycats out there. So it just kind of is what it is, I guess.
I mean, I think you had that back in the day, but they weren't getting pushed. Like, okay, you have
Yeah,
Tupac, you have this Tupac clone, but they're not gonna put him on because Tupac's there. Whereas
that's
now
right.
on the internet, you can just go and pull up one of them,
Yeah, that's
the
better.
clones.
That's a lot better.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, we
Um,
can, yeah, we can see. Yeah.
yeah, man, and I mean a lot of the artists that was on Def Jam, man, West Coast artists feel like they didn't get pushed.
yeah. I can
It
believe it.
was it was yeah, it was crazy, bro. It was definitely one of them weird things. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of weird stuff going on at Def Jam. And I still thank God for the opportunity to deal and all of that. I'm not saying trying to negate that in no form or fashion. I'm just saying there was some stuff that happened over there that that wasn't cool.
Yeah.
Me being from the South, I could kind of see the bias at the time from the East Coast. Like that's why I guess a lot of Southerners we lean more towards the West Coast. Like even the Source magazine, if it's a album from the South, you automatically get the highest you get is 3.5 mics.
Yeah, that's what we got for in Gas
Yeah.
We Trust.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
y'all aren't
exactly
zero
what they
3.5.
gave us, 3.5.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
And yeah,
I'll tell you this, and just for people to chew on, right? Okay, so we're on Def Jam, South Central Cartel, and I had got my young brother, Young Pride, a deal over there, and I had got my brother-in-law, Young Scheme, a deal over there. We're all on Def Jam, right? Now you have South Central Cartel, and you have Mobb Deep, right? At the time we was on Def Jam, the vice president of urban or vice president of the jam, he was high up in Def Jam, was Chris Lighty. Now, anybody, I don't know if y'all know this, but at the time, Chris Lighty was Mobb Deep's manager.
Okay.
So what I'm saying is, and I'm not making, I don't know, right? But what I'm saying is that shit's weird to me. So how are we gonna move around and get everything we need to get when one of the people that's up in y'all company is managing the other Havoc and Prodigy?
Right, right.
It was kind of weird to me, and it was very
Yeah.
difficult to modulate the politics.
Yeah.
You know, like when my brother and them needed this or needed that, it was very difficult to get it from certain people up in there. The SCC, we was able to modulate because of the fact we were already known. So even though we wasn't getting the full effects of the Def Jam promotional push, the fact that we just was a known street group helped us
Right.
Right.
to not get completely swallowed up in the politics. But see,
Yeah.
what ended up happening was we put out In Gas We Trust, that went gold. Then we did the Murder Squad Nationwide situation, which they turned that into a South Central Cartel album. It wasn't a South Central Cartel album. It was Havoc's compilation album. They ended up throwing us on the cover. Now, I don't know if that was Havoc the mouthpiece or if it was Def Jam. I don't know who did that, but they threw that on there and then it didn't get the push.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel
You
like,
know?
they're
That's
gonna push the
unfortunate.
home team. They're gonna.
Yeah, it's just the bullshit, the politics.
Yeah.
And then we didn't get another album until 1997.
Wow.
So we got 93 in Gas We Trust, and our next album didn't come out to me until 97. You can say that the Murder Squad, but it wasn't. In Gas We Trust, all day, every day. By then, we was pissed.
I mean,
We was
with
pissed off.
such a large gap between albums, like how did y'all
You
like
know how they
survive and
do.
make money? Was it touring?
Y'all know the music business,
Okay.
right? So y'all know what that was, correct? The 3-year thing, the 3-year thing. You know what I mean? What they call that in the game when they shelf
Yeah.
you or they
Yeah.
kill your career right
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
of shit. That's how
Yeah.
I look at it now. At that particular time,
Right.
I don't know what the hell I was thinking. I was just angry. So what we did, I'm a producer, so I just was producing. So I
Mm.
was producing Spice. I was producing MC8. I was producing, that's what kept me going. And
Oh,
Def
wow.
Jam was paying me the publishing money. So I was getting the publishing money from Def Jam. That's what kept me going. And they gave us money. So them 3 years, Def Jam would give us like $1,500 a week or some shit, which is cool,
But that's
but
split up,
we rather compare to what.
between everyone, right?
No, we all got it. We all got it separately,
Oh,
each.
you did. Okay.
Each,
That's not
but
bad.
still, we would have been making a lot more with them
Yeah.
records,
Right.
touring, doing shows. We did some shows, obviously, in that frame of time too. But I'm just saying, man, when you really think about it, it was some shit going on. That's all. It don't matter now, but at that time, between the In Gas We Trust and the All Day Every Day, that shouldn't have happened. That's all I'm saying. We should have been doing another album in between there, a SCC album. Now they didn't drop us. They wanted us to do a new album. All Day Every Day was out there. To me, All Day Every Day is one of our best albums. But they didn't want to promote it no more. And we was upset. We was already upset because of the
Yeah.
3 years. So now we finally do a dope ass classic album, and y'all telling us, we don't want to promote this no more. That's what
Well,
happened.
It's messed
So
up.
we was like, you know what? Just let us go. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
They was telling us, no, we want to give y'all money to do a new album. This is what was going on. Leor Cohen sitting in front of us telling us we want y'all to do a new album. But we was upset. Our egos was bruised. We probably should have did the new album, though. You feel me? Like we probably should have did the new album, but we didn't have nobody. SCC never had a manager.
Yeah. I was just about to say who was
Yeah, we
managing
didn't
you,
have nobody to give us guidance.
who was
Nobody.
Mm.
steering you. You guys are just steering your own
Yeah,
ship.
yeah, excuse me, man. I'm getting over that damn flu thing that was going around. Um, yeah, we had a manager named John Smith, and he kind of was the guidance, but he wasn't at that meeting. Or was he
Okay.
there? Or was he? I don't even remember, man. All I know, we was pissed, and we just was like, at this point in time, just let us go on about our business. I feel like that was the wrong decision for the record. At this point, we should have just went on and did that new album because you never know what we would have came up with. We might would
That's
have
right.
came out with a hit on that new album and kept us going few more years over there.
That's
But
right.
when your ego get bruised, bruh, and
Yeah.
you feel like you've been done wrong, you make wrong decisions. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
And
Well, if you,
that's what happened with Def Jam. That's how that whole situation ended. People don't know the true story because when you look on the internet, it say, "Oh, they dropped the group." They never dropped us. We asked them to drop us. They never dropped us. He offered us a new album. That's not dropping.
yeah.
You feel me? That's saying go do a new album. We think y'all could do something better. Which,
So,
go ahead.
yeah. So what did you guys do at that point?
It was over, bruh.
It was over.
See, let me go back. The South Central Cartel. I started the South Central Cartel. Okay, I'm the one that put the group together. When I was putting that group together, I didn't think about the fact that everybody in that group is my friend. LV, that's my friend. Me and LV. I grew up with LV. Havoc, the rhyme son, that's my cousin, my first cousin. Havoc, the mouthpiece, was my sister's boyfriend. You feel me? Like I had a thread to everybody, right? But I never thought about the fact that this dude personality ain't gonna work with that guy's personality. The
Ah.
South Central Cartel was a damn time bomb
And
of personalities.
that's, that's
That's
looking
what
back.
really, that's
Looking
what
back,
really did
that's the
it. Yeah.
problem with like a lot of bands is that okay, you
Mhm.
got one real strong personality over here on the left, but then over here on the right, you got this other guy that he's about to rip your head off with his
Uh-huh.
energy. And it doesn't,
Yeah.
ultimately it doesn't work out. Like I moved to LA at 22 and the band I was with, we broke up within about a 10-month period.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it was one of those things where it's like it was doomed from the start. I got us a meeting with a manager in West Hollywood. We go in to meet the guy. He's real into our stuff. He's saying, "Oh, you guys look great together." He's looking at our pictures, photo shoots, and all that. And then the singer he basically dropped the ball. He was having throat issues, throat problems.
Yeah.
So we didn't get back to the manager until, oh, I don't know, 6 months later. And in LA,
Oh, yeah.
things move very quickly. So we were pretty much done at that point, and the band ended up folding a couple months after that.
Yeah, man. That shit. I hate to say it, but that was a fucking nightmare, man. I mean, I love my guys, but boy, that group. I mean, I swear it was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy, man. Very crazy. Some of the stuff that happened that went on. Career ending shit. Career ending shit. Like, we got lucky, like something happened, it didn't end our career, but it definitely gave us a bad rap. Oh, them guys is crazy, they don't get along. And it was true. But that ain't what ended. The group did to me at some point after the Def Jam situation, we did an album, Concrete Jungle or something, with Havoc the mouthpiece. But see, one of the, that was one of the, like you just said, the personalities in the group that everybody kind of didn't like. Me and Havoc was fine, but
Okay.
LV didn't like him. Pretty much most of the other guys didn't like him. But I wouldn't allow him to get kicked out the group. I'm like, no, y'all can't kick
Because
him
you
out.
started it.
Yeah, they would. My word almost superseded everybody's. So, it was a couple of situations where members of the group probably should have got the boot. I'm not saying Havoc should have got the boot, Because okay, you think about it, Havoc, he the one that went and approached Russell Simmons and
Right.
helped us get the deal. I'm
Wow.
now, mind you, I'm thinking of all of these things. I'm like, how the hell am I gonna do that? He's a big part. Even before Russell, with this quality records, it was Havoc. That met somebody that hooked us up with somebody. So it's like, how do you do that? So I couldn't do it. I knew what was right and what was wrong.
Right.
And then another little part that I didn't mention is at the very, very beginning, before I started the South Central, it was just me and Havoc. We was already doing records. A few of the songs that ended up being on the SCC album was just me and Havoc records. You Gets
Okay.
Clown was one of them, which was the biggest hit off that album. So it was touchy, man. Looking back, I'm looking back now. I'm cool now. I don't got to deal with all that. But looking back on it, it was a few things that I probably should have did. But I mean, obviously, you always look back in hindsight and be
Yeah.
like, "Damn, I should have did this. I should
I
have
was
did that."
just gonna say, you get older, and it's like, wait a
Hmm.
second, why did I associate with that woman or that guy? And what was I thinking? But like in the moment, it's more like, hey, okay, I just met this
Hmm.
guy at this club. He seems cool. He's a manager. Da, 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 da. But you look back on it 20 years later, you're like, oh man, I should have ran the other way.
Right. Oh man, perfect words. Like now, I don't got to deal with it, and I'm at peace. I got a lot more peace. I still go do SCC shows. I just take who I take with me that's gonna be peaceful. I don't take the loud, messy people with me no more.
So like just I know LV he kind of did his own thing for a little while. He was on
Hmm.
Gangsta's Paradise, correct? And that was a
Oh
massive
yeah.
hit. Like did that really help y'all as well? Like once he kind of blew up with that, or was that
Man,
more?
nah, hell nah.
Okay.
But I was happy for LV. Like even the LV thing, man. I remember how that even the Gangsta's Paradise. It was a guy that used to run Def Jam West. His name was Paul Stewart. And Paul Stewart managed Coolio. I think at the time, Mr. Grimm, probably Warren G. He had some acts, some big ones that he was managing, but he wanted LV. Oh, he wanted him. And he would, this is L. He would come to the studio every day. He was vice president of Def Jam West. So he could walk in our sessions and anytime he wanted to. He pulled up all
Right.
the time. And at the beginning, I was like, why is this fool at our set? Why he up here? Because we wasn't directly signed to Def Jam West, really. We did have to deal with them over there at times, but we were signed directly by Russell. Russell signed us. But he wanted LV. He wanted him. And I remember LV bringing me the Gangsta's Paradise song. Prod, I want you to rap on this. I'm not bullshitting you. He came to me first. And
Like,
when I listened to it, I'm like, man, I think you should do this yourself. And people always say, Prod, you should have, it wouldn't have been the same. Because me in 1996 was a whole different animal. I was way more rowdy, way more street minded, and I probably would have got on that record and talked some crazy shit. You feel me? No, for sure. I would have got on that record and did something that Coolio did it perfectly. It was meant for Coolio.
It
But
was.
LB always say, "Pride, that should have been you." No, it shouldn't have. Because if I would have did it, it wouldn't have went crazy like that, bruh. Coolio was a double platinum artist at the time. All of those things played a part in that. It wasn't just the fact that y'all found the perfect beat and you put the perfect chorus on it. You put the perfect rapper on it too, bruh. That
Right.
was meant for y'all. But I could have did it. I had the first dib at that.
That's crazy.
I don't regret it. I don't. Because I wouldn't have done what Coolio did. I know that for a fact. I would have went crazy on that damn record. Now, today, maybe, but at that time, nah, I wasn't ready.
Okay, so like if you could work with somebody from another coast, like around that time period, let's just say the South, who would you have picked to work with? And then we could do the East Coast.
From the South, Scarface,
Okay, yeah.
for
How come
sure.
that never happened?
I don't know, man. That's crazy now that I think of it. That's my favorite rapper though from over there, Scarface. Still ain't too late.
Yeah, I mean that would be dope.
Still ain't too late.
What about East Coast?
Damn. East Coast, man. I like so many rappers from the East Coast. But my favorite rapper is Rakim.
Okay,
Ah, yeah. Awesome.
That would be the guy.
yeah, that
Even
would be
if I'm
another
just
thing.
making music with him. You know what I mean? Any involvement.
I was at a studio in Stamford, Connecticut, where Rakim, I guess he's been in and out of there. This place called Carriage House Studios.
Damn.
Because I went
Damn.
in there to master. I do video game music, so I was mastering a video game album, and I was just talking to like the engineer, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we have Rakim's been coming in here for years. This person's been coming in here." So it's like, wow, like you guys are pretty big then.
Man, hell yeah. Rakim in there. They solidify.
So I know you also do a lot of producing. Yeah. So, what do you prefer, the rapping or more of the producing, being behind
I
the scenes?
like the producing. I mean, obviously, the producing, you got to deal with asshole artists sometimes. But overall, I'd rather deal with that. I'd rather deal with that. And I make more money producing. It ain't no
Mhm.
money in the rapping, man.
Yeah,
I mean, I love the rapping, but it ain't no money in the rapping.
it's more so the fame, right? Like just
It's fun.
mm,
It's fun. It's fun to go out and do the little raps but it's just when you put them on the internet, you don't make no money on Spotify and all that. I mean,
Forget about it.
crumbs,
Now,
crumb sacks, man.
I mean, like
So
you said, you guys did 500K records in the night.
yeah,
Like that today would be crazy,
yeah.
because now it's
It's
just
hard to do it nowadays. Like
it's a whole
many
different ball
streams
game
you got?
now.
Hey, how many streams is that? You feel me? Like how many is that? Because the equivalent of sold record is crazy, I think. So yeah, I'm not in. I mean, I do it. I still rap, but I enjoy the music making more.
so. Do you do like music for like movies and all like pretty much touching everything, or is it still mostly like working with artists?
I mean, I have done music for movies, but I haven't done none recently. But I've done some, in my career, and it paid us real good, real good.
Nice.
You know, it's a lot more money in it. It's crazy how it works. Like you do the music for the video games. I mean, I would assume that there's decent money there. It's like just the rapping part is just is it's not lucrative unless you like go crazy.
Right.
You go crazy, yeah, you gonna get you some money for sure.
Well,
But
even someone like Rakim, like, yeah, when he came out, okay, it was huge, but like, I guess he's still doing stuff, but
oh yeah,
you
Rakim's
know,
still doing
is
tours
like,
and all that.
is he still on people's radar now? I don't know.
I don't think as much. It's not as much, but I think he still got a nice size radar. You feel me?
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
Rakim. He's the God MC. He's Rakim. So I mean, dude, I make more money off my old records than I make off my new ones.
I
Like
believe
if I
that.
I can
put out
believe
some
it.
new stuff, man,
Yeah, I
you know
believe
what I
that.
mean? But I'm a steady income from the old records.
Yeah, I know
Steady.
like those streaming services, they hardly pay anything. Like you get
They
like
don't pay nothing, but the
yeah,
Nothing,
catalog
pennies.
records, they tend to stream a lot more. Like I don't know what the deal is, but my old records they stream more than the new ones. I mean, maybe because I can't promote them to the level of where people hear them or something. I don't know, man. It's weird to me. It's weird. The old records is still making not a lot, but decent money.
Yeah, I know that in this day and age, like as a musician, you pretty much, especially if you're doing an independent thing, you can probably spend maybe 50, 60% of your time on the music. The rest has to be like being a content creator almost like.
Marketing. Yeah.
The marketing is important, and if you learn
Marketing.
that, if you lock that in, you might be good. Even with your new records, I don't know. Maybe even with your
Because
new.
that's like, marketing makes me think Steve Jobs, Apple, and like
Hmm.
we all got iPhones and all this stuff because of him. He didn't, he wasn't a coder. He wasn't building stuff with his hands, but he was a master marketer. So
Yeah,
about the iPad, the iPhone, the iMac, all this stuff, because he would take that product and put it out there marketing wise to like get it in front of the right audiences at the right time.
yeah, he would magnify that Apple for sure.
Yeah, I think things now is structured differently than how it used to be. Like because before it used to be a push base. You have like two or three TV stations: BT, MTV, VH1, couple of local radio stations. This is the rap station, and this is where you have to go to listen
Mhm.
to music. So if somebody puts you on that playlist, you're going to be known. Whereas now people got 10,000 different ways they can consume media, and there's not just one place where everybody's going. So it's
I
like you
mean,
have to pop out. You have to really jump out and almost do backflips and do circus tricks to get
yeah,
look.
slap somebody in public or
Yeah,
some shit.
right.
It's like, yeah, that's the thing. You got to do the worst. You can't do the best. You feel me? You got to do the worst. You got
Right.
to slap some. Oh, Prodigy was
Yeah.
fighting Snoop Dogg at the Grammys.
Yeah.
It got to be some stupid shit, some crazy jump out the screen at you type. You can't do
Yeah.
nothing. Oh, it can't be good. It can't be nothing good. And then with that being said, how do we know what streams is real, what streams is
Yeah.
fake,
That's the
who
thing.
bought their streams?
That's the
Like it's
thing.
just crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And
I look
like
at this and it's very crazy to me.
exactly, it's all an illusion. A lot of these so-called beefs, like these two people that are always arguing, but somehow they never end up fighting.
Because they done talked on the phone and said, look, we gonna do this.
Exactly.
That's right.
And they do it and it work for them. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I love it, but I hate it. You feel me? I love it, but I hate it.
So you're still producing, you said,
Still producing. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much where the money comes from.
and primarily hip hop, or are you moving into other
I mean, I
genres as
do
well?
crazy shit. I be doing
Yeah.
Ellie Van
Yeah.
stuff, which is completely different. It's like I'm moonlighting. You know what I mean? Over there, I get to do stuff I wouldn't do over here. I can't talk the crazy, the street stuff on the Ellie record. And I love it. I have fun over there. I have fun with them, with the Groove Evolution and all of
Right.
that, the
Yeah. Yeah.
movement. I enjoy it, man. She got some dope artists playing for her. Artists that can play for bigger artists. You know what I mean? And I just sit back and I soak
Yeah.
it in. I soak it in.
She was saying one of the guys used to tour with Prince.
Yeah. Yeah.
Carry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure did. And I get to sit there and watch this, not and and they didn't play for Lauryn Hill, and they didn't play for Mary J, and they didn't play for Beyonce. These dudes is dope. So I sit there feeling like, oh, I'm the guy. I didn't have my own records and I didn't done this. These guys done some stuff.
Yeah.
And I enjoy watching them. And I listen to them today, they stories, they music industry stories and stuff be crazy.
So you must have some pretty wild stories from the mid '90s, like in the West Coast. Like, did you ever come across Tupac
Oh,
or
obviously, yeah.
Snoop or like, yeah? So what
I'll tell you
what
the
what be the
Tupac story.
what be the
I,
craziest Tupac
I'll give
story?
y'all the Tupac one because I don't be talking about that old stuff. But the day we did the song with Tupac, song called Gangsta Team, we in the studio. I'm in the studio, producing the beat, etc. And Ice T there, MC8 there. Spice One pulls up with Pac. So that's how Pac ended up on. Well, I don't know. Havoc might have talked to him, you know, but I'm saying I saw him come in there with Pac. We all getting ready to do our thing, and then Pac start writing the verse too. I'm like, oh shit, Pac finna jump on the record. He finna jump on the record. I produce it. I'm chilling. I'm like, oh, this is finna be crazy, right? So he jumps on the record, do his thing, kill the damn song, killed it. And then, we had a photo shoot after a little later in that day. Pac kicked it with us the whole damn day. He loved the SEC. You know what I mean? So we leave to go downtown to a location for the photo shoot. So we all jump out the car. We found a spot. So we all jump out the car to pose or whatever, right? Everybody out there pulled the gun out. Every one of us had a gun, right? And I mean the South Central Cartel, obviously. But then I look up, Pac comes out with a big ass, like a 44 or something, a big one, right? I'm like, and right then and there, I'm like, this is a real motherfucker right here. You feel me? Because, we was street dudes, man. We didn't give a damn who you was. Whoever you are, that's who you are. We wasn't riding no jocks, jumping on nobody tips, none of that. We appreciated Pac because Pac was a real dude, and that really, really solidified his realness to me. I'm like, this dude pulled a big gun up out of his damn back, and he like, yeah, I'm ready. And that's a popular picture on the internet. It's us with Pac. It's a black and white picture on the internet. But that's what happened. That we scared the hell out of the photographer.
Oh, I bet.
Everybody pointing guns at you. You gonna be scared of that. But that's my Pac story. I got a couple of other ones, man. But that's a good Pac story right there.
That's awesome that you met him.
Man, I met him a few times.
That's surreal. Yeah.
He's a solid dude, bro. Like that. That's
really
all I can
seem
say.
like it.
As far as being a real dude, like if he know you and he fool with you, he fool with you.
Yeah.
So every time you see him, he's gonna make sure he acknowledge you. He gonna shake your hand like, "What up, Prize?" And that's what happened every time I saw him after.
Yeah, that's one thing I did hear about Pac. Like when Warren G, he kind of split from Death Row. Nobody was really messing with him. Pac went and worked with him. I think they pour out a little liquor or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good dude, man, for sure.
I know in the music industry, it's hard to find real people who's gonna kind of stick with you.
100%. Yeah.
Pac don't play that. And he don't play that shit. Like he rapped on our record, didn't show. I don't think we paid him. I think he just did it.
Wow.
He blessed that record. And I think Havoc tried to get Pac to rap on another record down the line. And Pac was like, look, man, I rapped on your record for free. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
What are you doing? Yeah. Why are you coming at me again?
One free.
And I respect it. Yeah. I respect that. Like, dude, don't wear out your welcome, bro.
That's right.
Well, hey, man, we at the top of the hour, man. That hour flew by.
And it always does, man. Dude, I appreciate y'all for having me on.
Definitely.
Sure.
Definitely.
Yeah, man. We're gonna have to bring you back sometime.
We ain't even scratched the surface. You feel me?
We only got one Tupac story out of you.
You feel me? And I got another good one next time.
And then I definitely want to dive into, you producing and, who your influences, who you want to work with. I think there's so much there as well.
I mean, I think it's the same, man. Perfect example. I didn't know that Rakim was a music producer. I didn't know that Scarface played damn near every instrument. This is stuff that I didn't know. I want to work with those guys. You know what I mean? Like, I want to work with people that I admire.
Right.
I don't want to work just because, I want to work with people that I really appreciate what they do. Ice Cube, that's another one. It's just a few with me. It's not a whole lot. I
respect that you're really pushing the boundaries. You're working with L events, some kind of outside of the, what people would expect.
Yeah, I mean, dude, that's a blessing right there. the whole Ellie thing, because like I said, I get to do things that I wouldn't dare
Right.
with my group. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I
Yeah.
like that. That's a challenge, and I like it.
It
You know,
Yeah,
pushes you a
man.
little bit.
yeah, definitely. And you know, also, man, I'm a ear producer. You like, I listen to the music, and sometimes I might fuck up. I keep it a buck. I might find me a dope something that I like, a loop or something, and and I'm trying to replay it. You feel me? And I might mess up, and them guys, they be like, "Pride, uh, you're flat right here." You feel me? Like, but you know, I go by ear though. Me, I listen to what it feel like more than anything. But I
Yeah.
love that. I love check me, bro. You know, tell me what so I can get better at it. Even though I've been doing this a long time, you know, I've always had a better musician in the studio with me.
That's key.
I've always
Yeah.
had a better musician to make sure that
That's the
I'm
way to
doing it
do it.
right. Yeah.
Only
That's the
way
way
you
to
can
do
grow.
it.
And I still to this day do that.
So we'd like to thank